Awesome.
All right. Ask a student. Oh, okay, we did the opening prayer. Allow anyone who wishes to share thought. Each group member can share one word. Okay. Let's share one word that you felt describes your negotiation experience. I'm thinking that they're asking about our experience in the past with negotiating. So I'm going to start, and the word that comes to my mind as far as negotiating is diplomatic. At least I try, and I don't like I don't like confrontation, and I don't like heated discussions, and I prefer that everybody's happy. Um, so that's a word that comes to my mind. My wife's family is a little different. They're a little bit more heated and get in your face, and mine is a lot more laid back. And so in contrast to those two, from my perspective, it's more easygoing. So that's me. Who wants to go next?
For our experience in that simulation, don't you think?
What's that?
Aren't we?
Chelsea?
Isn't it supposed to be? It's supposed to be our experience from that simulation that we haven't done yet.
You know, you're probably absolutely
Yeah.
right. I have no idea. I haven't been able to access it, so I don't know.
It might be that too, yeah.
Where are we even supposed to access that?
So there's a link to go to that website.
Oh.
And then you just log on or register, and then it will take you to it. And then you have to be careful because it looks like you're like, what do I do? And you have to push the run role play. It's on the right hand side once you get in there.
Yeah, I've tried to push that one, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, because he hasn't done it on his end.
All it says that you have not been assigned a negotiation role by your
Right.
instructor.
Yep.
Did you send an email for it or what?
Do what?
Where did we even get the link?
Okay, so I'm going to pull it up on my side. Can you see my screen?
Let's see. Yeah.
If you go to, is it content? No, you just go up to the class.
The first video he has.
Yeah, the very first video. Like he puts out the weekly videos, and it's on that list.
Yeah.
So if you click on Harvard simulation link, it looks like it wasn't as big last time, so maybe he's done something with it since.
No, I think he just did something with it because it was not that big before.
How long did it take you to do the simulation, Chelsea?
I haven't done it because it won't let me in because it's on his end.
Okay.
There's something in the back of it that...
Elvis is asking, he says he's not yet received the new link.
But it's right above.
It's right above it? Oh, it is. Okay, well, I'll put it in there again.
Anyways, I think like
And yeah, anyways, we can go on and
it's a
just
learning progress.
Sounds good. All right, so we'll skip number 3 then. Okay, so the founders negotiated an agreement in November, the original agreement. Now Michael realizes he is doing most of the work. Is it fair to ask for renegotiation? It says to vote yes or no. I think you can ask. I mean, sure. I'd say yes.
Anybody else agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, why would he not ask for a renegotiation? Even if he's not going to get what he wants, they can find somewhere in the middle, or they can be like, no, and they can tell their side of the story.
So I'm just going to play devil's advocate just to make better conversation, but I'm going to say no. And I'm only saying no because of their contract that they already made up. There's one line in there where they say, we assume all founders work full-time during the summer of 2007. So if they made this in November of 2006, then they right before Christmas break, and they were supposed to go get investors and stuff. Well, Michael got one investor, and then Oh, hey Elvis. And then
Hey, Elvis.
so he got his investor and got excited, and he started work early. So, I mean, to be technical, they weren't all supposed to be full-time until the summertime. They did come back from break and start working a little bit more, but technically he jumped the gun because he got excited.
So I'm a little confused about the time frame. Is it the summer already?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because this is February, so because they signed this contract in November and then they went on Christmas break, but he came home early in January because he got an investor and he started working real hard on it. Well, everybody else was still on break, and then when they came back in February, that's when he was like, "Hey, I've been working all month and you guys haven't done anything."
I can hear you guys, but I need you to confirm if you can hear me or not.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Chelsea.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I'm late.
You're fine.
I was looking at the Exhibit 1
Uh-huh.
at the company setup. It says the number 4. It says that we reevaluate our position before the end of summer to define the future.
Correct.
So I think Michael has the right to have a re-agreement because it was part of their partnership agreement from November. Yeah. So I think if they haven't done their job, and it's very clear that they have not done their job and they're not very committed, I think it's his right from the agreement to reevaluate, to have a meeting with them, and why not?
But he's only technically given them a month. He jumped ahead because they were all supposed to be on vacation. But he got excited and came home early. So, I mean,
So I think it would depend on if they should reevaluate it or renegotiate it. If it's at the beginning of the summer, then no, I don't think they should renegotiate it yet. Give them the summer because that's what was in their agreement.
Correct.
Now, if it's the end of the summer and they're still not working, then I definitely would renegotiate it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Point number 5 in the company setup says that we will aim to meet relatively frequently. So that doesn't necessarily mean renegotiating, but he could in a meeting discuss his problem or what he sees as a problem.
Right, because if he doesn't tell them how he's feeling or what he's doing and bring it up to them, then they're not going to be able. They're just going to think everything's fine, and they're not going to step up their game.
Okay. I was thinking for some reason that this was part way into the summer, and if it was the summer, then it saying that if they're going to work full time during the summer, they're not meeting their end of the contract. But if it's not even the summer yet, then yeah, he's probably jumped the gun. But he should still communicate.
Just
yeah,
trying.
I just think the other players are not committed enough, and I think he's right to reevaluate. I think he tried to talk to them as well, try to meet with them as well, but they haven't shown any commitment to that. So, yeah.
And under the equity distribution, it talks about how equity can be obtained by working for the company and also by contributing capital. And I thought, that's a little vague. They really ought to have, and they're just getting started, so you have to give them that. But they really need to have some control systems. They need some structures, like a time card, hours worked, or something. They need to evaluate the company as well, and they need to figure out how much capital invested is going to increase a person's share. So they need to get on the same page as far as that goes.
Well, see here it says it's the last paragraph on page 9, and he said Michael still felt he was carrying most of the workload. As January ended and February began, he became increasingly disillusioned with the team's progress. But he had just got his investor in January. So he came home early from vacation to Boston, and the other two were still gone. One's in Iceland, and one's in, where was the other guy? I don't know, Boston or some other place, New York. So
January, February. I think that's key there.
Mhm.
Well, good point. Does anybody else have anything to add to number 3? Oh, can you get a great negotiating outcome and for your nuts number? Oh, we were 4. Sorry. Yeah, we're in 4. Okay. Does PHUC think it is fair to renegotiate? Why or why not? What did you guys think of that?
Isn't that
Fook?
Yep. However it's pronounced.
I don't think it's fair on his end because he hasn't even started any work yet.
And doesn't he have current employment already? I mean, if he dropped that,
yes,
he would be compensated.
Yeah, he's consulting.
Right, but he's just waiting for the other two guys to tell him what he's creating. So
And
really, he can't do anything.
And he was just brought on as well, so.
Mhm.
And he says very clearly, he says, you guys don't tell me what to do, I'm not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
And if you're not giving me salaries, I'm not gonna do anything as well because I want to be compensated for the work that I've done before, right?
Mhm.
So from this end, I would say that yeah, he's probably not agreeing to renegotiate because in summer he gets his equity and he gets salary too. So I think he gets the best deal out of the agreement they had.
And Exhibit 1 only talks about them getting paid.
Yeah.
It says paying salary to employees no later than the summer. So
yeah,
nothing's in stone yet. Yeah.
I didn't say who was. I'm trying to find it and I can't find it. He was waiting for them to tell. He was waiting to be told what kind of program needed to be made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's probably not going to want to renegotiate at this time.
No.
If you guys haven't held any of your deals, you're getting excited just because you've gotten money, but we don't have anything else in place.
Mhm.
So when should renegotiation be allowed?
In the terms of their contract, after the summertime.
Yeah.
So do you think, does anybody think that it should happen whenever someone feels they're doing more of the work? No?
No, because there's going to be periods where everybody feels like they're doing more work than everybody else.
I mean, I can't renegotiate my marriage because, I have to do more with the kids than my husband, so.
Okay.
Business is the same way.
I read an article from a trade forum on contract and renegotiations, and I was looking at when is a good time for renegotiation, and now it says the most common type of renegotiation occurs within the life of the contract due to the failure of one side to fulfill its obligation. In such cases known as intra-deal, one party seeks relief of its commitment. Another example of intra-deal negotiation is when one side wishes to extract itself from the agreement due to the inability to meet its commitment. This type of negotiation is often found in small firms entering the foreign market for the first time. And then it keeps going, but what I got from here is that a good time for renegotiation is when one party it's not fulfilling their responsibilities, and it's the right of the other party to go easy or not, to have meetings and talk about it and see what they can do better, and if they don't do better, they can renegotiate or something like that. But I think it's not when one party does more work. I think when every party does their work, they have the limit of work. if you want to do more work, go ahead, do more work. But as long as you do your own work, I don't think it needs to be renegotiated. But in this case that we have, I think Michael is doing most of the work. He's doing the other people's work as well, so I think it's a good time.
But is he doing that himself? Like, he's the one that decided to come home early. They had all already planned to go on Christmas break.
Well, it's a startup, Chelsea. There is no break.
No,
There's no,
right.
No, because I've been in a startup myself. And okay, you have Christmas, but you still work. You are in a startup, and I think Michael was the only one who had the mentality for having the startup going, and the other ones took it really easy. I don't know if you read one of the sentences that George said when they did the agreement. They said, "Oh, it's an okay agreement, like we're gonna start slow and easy." But it's a startup. You have to go hard to do it. So,
yeah.
But I respect your opinion on that.
Well,
I'm just trying to play devil's advocate, honestly.
To renegotiate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think it's good to negotiate when somebody does most of the work. I think it's a startup, right?
Did we lose him?
In this case, he decided to come back early than the rest of them, which means that he's more excited than they are. But I think for me, my own opinion is that the best time to renegotiate, they have started, it's going in a different direction, or at that time the person is not putting in much effort. But at the early stage, who has the idea is only naturally going to be more excited and probably going to put. So I don't think that because he's doing more at this early stage that he should call for renegotiation. It's a different case when they are well established and others are not working as hard as they ought to, and then he can call for renegotiation.
I agree. Anybody else?
Hello, I can't hear anyone. Can you guys still hear me?
I can hear you.
I can still hear you.
Hello, is anybody there?
Hello.
This network is something else. Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead with the other question, I guess, right?
Yeah. I think, did we lose Adam? Been awfully quiet.
Okay, I have my microphone muted. I'm sorry. and I was trying to go on even to the next question here. And okay, Elvis, can you hear us all right?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Does anybody have anything more to say about question number 4?
I don't.
Nope.
Okay, question number 5. Was it a good idea to come to an agreement in November? If you say yes, tell your group why, or no.
I think November was actually pretty early to come to an agreement. They probably should have kept working kind of to see the roles that each one plays, and then come to an agreement in like January or something after they get back from break.
Yep. I agree with that. They shouldn't have done any agreement in November. It just, kind of, setting up the business and see how it goes, and then according to that they can split the equities and see who is more committed or who's not. But
I think by doing it, that early though, that it helped set their commitment. I don't think that. What if if George would have gone home to Iceland over the vacation, and if he didn't have anything set in stone and he found something there, he could have just stayed there with his wife or fiance and kids. But this put that in perspective, and he had to come back.
Well, they could have done something like pre-agreement.
Yeah.
Something not set up.
Gotcha.
That would have them like hard feelings after if things change. So.
Yeah, I think they did a little bit too detailed. Even though this is not very detailed, they did too much detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was good to have written something up, but I think there were aspects of it that were flawed. I think that they should have been more careful as to how they distributed equity until they knew how committed people were going to be.
Yeah.
But I think it did kind of, like Chelsea was saying, I think it did kind of set the stage. It kind of helped them, get something rolling so that there was a little bit of commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, does anybody else have anything on that? All right. Who stands to benefit the most from keeping the November agreement?
The person who works the least.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd say Warren, George, and Foots, whatever his name is.
Hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Warren.
I even forgot about that guy.
Nah, Warren for me.
Yeah, I think it definitely isn't the people who are jumping into it head first right now. Those that want to take vacation and wait until the summer. So I agree with you guys. All right, who stands to benefit the most from renegotiating in February?
The person who does the most amount of work.
Michael.
Yeah. Michael? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who would benefit from waiting until later in the summer?
I think they all would.
Yeah.
Just so feelings aren't... Because sometimes this stuff can get emotional.
Everyone, yeah.
I agree.
Okay, I think
People get emotionally invested, so it better would just say renegotiate at the end of this.
I think, too, they're going to have more of an understanding in terms of even numbers, and so they're going to know more.
Were there any terms of the financing given? I mean, they've got money coming in January, February. Like $250,000.
I think he said that he would be willing to fund their second round also.
Yeah.
If they can get it up and running.
But were there any time frames given? I didn't remember seeing any time frames.
I don't think so.
I don't remember either.
Because maybe that's why Michael's jumping on this so quickly. Maybe he's concerned about the money disappearing, or maybe there's a high interest rate or something. But I guess without that information, it's hard to tell.
Exhibit 3 maybe. That's the equity split. It's just kind of a time frame.
Yeah. Well, that was just his write-up, wasn't it?
Yeah,
of his suggested
maybe.
Change.
Yeah, I didn't know if maybe this had any kind of time frame in it. Waiting. It's weighted heavily if they don't get this phase done or whatever. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Discuss how the timing of an equity agreement affects a startup's ability to attract, motivate, and retain founders and early employees.
Well, we kind of talked a little bit about that, right? That if the agreement is very detailed and like early in the stage, might not be as good. But if at least has something to help with the commitment, I think it's benefited for all the founders and employees. So.
Yeah, I agree.
What if if they do have it early on, does that show investors that they're
me too.
ready and committed and going on with it? I don't know.
Well, if they're going to be talking with investors, I think the investors want to see that there is excitement, and
Mm-hmm.
if they see that they're going to hold off, half a year, then there could be some red flags.
Yeah.
But these people have lives. I mean, some of these guys all of them, they were pretty ambitious. Looks like they had previous experience. Some of these people were making quite a bit of money before. They kind of had to dissolve some of their previous work so they could jump into this. So it might not have been practical for some of them to jump right away. Families, and they're all over the world too. So it's
Right. Yeah.
I think for something like this, I mean, it's it's kind of rough for Michael, who wants to jump into it right away. He seems to be the most excited, and so yeah, the timing maybe they should have. I don't know.
If you can't find
school too.
What's that, Madison?
They're all still in school too. Like they were talking about in the case, if they were wondering if they should defer.
Yeah.
For their second year. Well, yeah, they're going to be really busy on top of that. But that's why maybe they should just, I don't know. I can't work and go to school at the same time. I have a really hard time with that, just focusing on everything.
It's stressful.
And, like, just do one thing at a time. But I'm at the point in my life where I can do that.
That's what I tell my young women all the time. Go to school.
In school.
Before you have babies.
Yeah. If I'll graduate a month after my baby's due. So it's like perfect timing, seriously.
Yeah, there's some wisdom in getting that taken care of first. At the same time, you also have to, I don't know,
there's so many different scenarios.
Situations, yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm at this point in my life where I can just do schooling right now and I don't have to work.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean it's a bad thing. I definitely think it's harder.
Yep.
And the brethren have also talked about, I think we're getting a little off.
I know.
Yeah, we're getting off subject. So. Anyway, so, all right, so any other thoughts on how the timing of an equity agreement affects a startup's ability to do those things?
Nope, I think we covered it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think knowing your share, knowing what you're getting out of it is definitely going to assist in determining whether or not how invested you're going to be into something. So if they don't know where they're at, then there's going to be some lack of motivation potentially. Okay.
I don't think we can do number 7. It has to do with the
simulation.
Yeah.
And number 8, as a team, draft a new agreement that includes changes that would improve the results of attracting, motivating, and retaining the right people. Consider the following features.
I could say something like that.
Go for it.
So I would basically keep the agreement as it is there, but not include puts, whatever is that, in so much equity, and equity be given according to fulfillment of work. Every team member needs to know what to do and who to report to. A CEO needs to receive. So what I thought of that is they need to organize or create positions. A general company position, even in the startup. According to a book that I've read from eMyth, it has to have a CEO, and then it has to have a manager of operation, a manager of marketing, a manager of the financials. It's the 3 main ones. It says even in the startup, even when you guys don't have a lot of money, it's always important to have it, to have the roles there and give the people that are part of the founding. And I think having a CEO who people can report to and give feedback, it's very important than just having all founders kind of report to each other and stuff. and if duty is not fulfilled at the time, reallocate the situation, change in duties and equity. So these are some addings beside what already was there.
I like those. And I think that would make it a lot less complicated having a CEO making the decisions rather than, I think it's like out of the 3, you have to have 2 out of 3 votes. And so there could be a lot of politics involved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the other 2 guys can stop the one guy. So, you know.
Yeah.
Or they can force out a third person.
How about so do you guys all think that we ought to keep the current contract?
Have to come back and do once we get onto the Harvard website.
Yeah, I think that's what we need to before we draft a new agreement.
Do you think that's part of it? Part of this
Yeah,
question?
I wonder if it is.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Oh, well, at least we can share some ideas, right?
Yeah, we could share some ideas.
Yeah.
So, do we think that they ought to keep the current? They ought to keep the current or build upon the current contract. Are there things we ought to take off or add?
I think they need to take out number 3, the work full time during the summer. I mean, that was too hard of a date because they should have been working hard from the very beginning. Even though they're in school, I understand that, and they had their breaks, but
they were probably just being reasonable.
Yeah.
Because if I had a vacation planned for like a break, I'd be like, I still want to go, so I'm going to take that time off.
Mhm.
And they were probably also considering the school year, and they were figuring their semesters were going to be slowing down, and summer would be a good time to go full time.
They had to make their decision by then. Like in the Rent the Runway case, didn't they say she had the job offers?
Yeah.
And so she was going to try and run with the business until she absolutely had to give them answers.
Yeah.
So maybe for those that weren't committed right away, maybe they shouldn't get as much equity share.
Yeah.
What do you think, Grizel? I mean, you were talking about how they should jump into this, right away. Everybody needed to kind of jump into it because a startup needs lots of attention to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's 2 kinds of startups. There's one who goes on bootstrapping, where you don't invest a lot, you invest according to your cash flow. And there is this one that they're doing, which is on investing, which will accelerate a lot the business. Will it grow and will receive their attention. So I would say, talk to them and what their vision is. Do they want to go big on this one or not? If they don't want to, I would just tell them, this is probably not right for you guys. You could, do something else, but I would not give them equity until I made sure that they are on board with me. Like, so it would have been on Michael's side, right? So.
Right. That's something I was gonna say, and it just left me.
Yeah. So I think they're hurrying too much because I don't know. Not everyone is on board. So.
Would putting their own money into it, be a bad idea? I mean, if you put your own money into something, that kind of motivates you.
It's not very clear what they're doing anyways. Like, the technician doesn't know what he's going to do.
Didn't they initially put down $5,000 each? or at least the two first founders.
Oh,
And also with the new investor, they told them that they wanted to do a lot of it on their own initially. They wanted to put a lot of their own equity and time into it, and it sounded like they might have been in agreement with this new investor's 250 grand on taking maybe a 20% share. Does that ring a bell with you guys?
I don't remember them putting money in on it. I wonder if that was a previous, when they were going through their kind of their timeline of what they did before this.
Oh, here it is, page 6 at the top of pages. The trio worked on the system over the summer and sold. No, okay, yeah, that was somebody else's previous company. I was getting those mixed up.
Okay.
Apologize.
It's all right.
But I think that I thought that there was a $20,000 deal with the new investor.
250,000.
Yeah, 270,000 through the end of the summer, but would not be willing to give up more than 20% of the venture for that money.
Okay.
Okay.
And did they all get on the same page with that?
I don't think it ever says if they do or not, because he got this over that vacation time, and he tried to talk to the other guy a couple times.
They were on vacation.
Yeah, but other than that, they didn't really talk all that much.
Yeah, it doesn't give a lot of information, eh?
Mm-mm.
Right. So it sounds like compared to some of their previous ventures, or at least some of them,
Yes.
dealing in the hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, we're probably talking about them wanting to start up with a bootstrap type of operation, somewhat, if you call 250,000 bootstrapping, but they only wanted to give up 20% of the company initially. So I think it's unreasonable for them to expect everybody to drop everything they've got going. I mean, they'd have to relocate their families overnight. They'd have to stop. Some of them would probably have to drop out of school. I think the summer is reasonable. However, I think if somebody wanted to jump on board right away and do more than the others, I think they might just get a bigger equity share. What do you guys think?
What if you just had it instead of the equity like that, like it says in number 8, the vesting? So he put a lot of money and time into this, so he gets more for the amount of time he put in. You know what I mean? Like after a certain number of months or whatever working on this by himself or whatever, then he gets more money.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I think we ought to just add that to our contract.
Yeah, that seems really good.
Okay. So it says to draft a new contract, and most likely this is part of that simulation. So are there any other thoughts pertaining to how they might be able to make it more equitable for everybody?
No, I can't think of anything.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine really that Michael could do a whole lot until they came to an agreement, and then they actually got, working on the product. And it sounds like they need that technician to go in there and do that. But he's got a life and he's got a family, so.
Yeah, and he's got another business running on, right?
Right.
Which makes money.
It just makes sense to me, with the limited information that I have, that hey, Michael could do a whole bunch of groundwork before, but it's probably the company's really not going to start, fashioning a product and really getting things moving until summer, unless they could hire a new technician.
I agree.
Okay. All right. Equity is earned as each member achieves milestones. Vesting over time, we talked about that. An option pool or equity set aside to be earned later. What do you guys think of the option pool or equity set aside to be earned later?
That's the one I like.
Is that
I think that's the smartest.
Is that more for employees, right?
Or people that are,
But yeah, you can give it to employees too.
yeah.
So just because you're setting aside equity does not mean that that the three of them are gonna have the opportunity to get it up to grabs.
I think that was kind of discussed in the last case study
Mm-hmm.
a little bit. All right. So I think we've had a great discussion. Do we want to try to get together after the simulation's fixed, or is that going to be too complicated, too late in the week?
That might be too late in the week. I mean, because
It's not
all
really.
we do Monday morning.
I asked him today. He said
I mean, we could.
the internet connection.
Like 5 a.m. Monday morning, so we can get the assignment in
Oh, right.
for the deadline.
Yeah, this is just what I wanted to do on.
I honestly think the teacher's just gonna have to understand on this point. I don't know.
I think so. I mean,
It's already
yeah.
Thursday.
Did you get the email he sent that? Oh,
Yeah, I haven't received
did
an email
everybody get
from
the
him
email
yet.
he sent about people dropping the course? Yeah, I got
No.
an email from him this afternoon that some people, out of 31 people in the class, well, just about 13 left in the class. Others have dropped it, and so he's having a hard time assigning the simulation, but he wants to make sure that everybody is on board before he does that.
Yeah, we got that, but I mean,
So
it's
I don't know
already
if he will be
Thursday.
able to do that between now. Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's kind of a bit difficult for us to, well, why not wait till Monday? Isn't this assignment due on Monday morning?
Yeah, Monday morning at 9 a.m.
I mean, I hate to say that, but maybe Saturday night.
I can't Saturday morning.
Yeah, Saturday night
I
might
know.
be. No, I
know.
can make it on Saturday night. Yeah.
I think
But if you guys can make it on Saturday morning, I can make it.
I think I like the Monday at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Right.
I mean, if it comes down to two, we
It works
could
for
do-
me. If you can make it, I would make it.
I mean, we could do Sunday. I know everybody hates that, but
I would be.
definitely.
I don't like doing group meetings on Sunday at all.
I agree. Because we can't ever.
we can just do an audio meeting.
And Sunday is a big no for me.
I know.
Well, who's for Monday at 5 a.m. in the morning?
But why don't we send him an email and explain to him why we can do it? I mean, I'm sure he would understand.
Let's just see when he gets it fixed.
Well, hopefully I mean, I'm all for
Okay.
like meeting on Monday.
That's fine too.
My only thing is, it's just so early. Maybe we should just ask him if he can push back the due date. I mean, the due time.
Or
So
well,
we could at a reasonable hour.
That sounds good. I think we ought to kind of play it somewhat by ear, and we can't do anything until the thing is fixed.
Correct.
Unless we could all come to some consensus earlier, we could just see how reasonably is and say our next available time that we could all meet together is 3 a.m. Monday morning, and ask him if he insists that we do that. Otherwise, I don't know.
I mean, we did already meet as a group, which is probably going to be, that's A forever right there, I guess. I don't know.
I hope so.
Even if it's not for all of it, I don't know.
Well,
Let's send him that email.
Were some of you
I think he.
really serious about Monday morning?
That's the only other time we have until he fixed the simulation. So.
It's Memorial Day Monday here.
Oh, jeez, you're
I mean,
right.
I know.
Whatever. It's a holiday.
It is.
I might not be awake or very awake.
I know.
Well, it works okay for me. If you get your 5 a.m. is 11 a.m. my time, so works perfectly for me.
Elvis.
Okay.
All right.
I don't think any of us are really understanding. Has anybody been able to access the simulation at all?
No, because he said in
I
the
just
thing,
opened it. It's still telling me the same thing it told me yesterday.
he has to put us in the groups first.
I'm on the page right now. It's still saying you've not been assigned a negotiation role by your instructor. So I'm on the page right now. It's still not opening. Nothing has been assigned.
Right.
All right. So
Well, do you know what? Let's all get on there. Have you guys all? I haven't even. What is it?
I already emailed him on Tuesday about it, so, and he got back to me and said he's working on it. It's something on the back end of their system. So we're just waiting for him. So I think he's just waiting for more people to sign up on the website to register, and then once he has that, he can put enough people into groups.
Well,
So
if
as long
we
as
all, well, that's the thing is, if we all make sure that we
yeah, you log on and make sure you register, and as long as our
Yeah,
group is
and we let
registered, he
him
can
know.
start us.
right, so we can get that done. Because I just registered.
Yeah.
for it.
So should we do
So how many of us are registered already?
I am.
should we do something like by Saturday? If he does something, we can kind of.
Can you guys meet Saturday morning?
yep.
Yeah.
I don't even know why. I didn't even think of Saturday morning.
Yeah, I can.
Saturday morning at the same time.
All right. Sounds good.
Is that okay?
Works for
If we
me.
have to?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Let's ask him if
That's
we have to.
Saturday morning, 9 a.m. your time, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So 3 a.m. 3 your time.
Okay. 3 p.m. my time.
Yes.
Can we do it a little bit earlier than 9?
Yeah, works fine for me.
Yeah, we can do earlier.
Like at 8?
Yeah, I can if you guys.
Yeah, that's not in my time.
Because I think I'm going to a reception.
Okay.
Well, I gotta meet friends
Yeah.
before. So,
I mean,
Yeah,
we can go with that an hour earlier on Saturday.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
8
Yeah,
a.m.
that's 2 p.m. my time. It's okay for me.
Okay.
Yeah, though this Sunday is my state conference, but I think I can still create time.
Yeah, well, then you want the morning for sure. So we'll just email him and ask him if we have to meet again to get these questions done. And if we do, that's when we'll meet.
Okay.
Does somebody want to email him for all of us, or should we
Yeah,
all
I
send
can
it?
do that. And I'll copy you guys into the email too so we can all see.
Oh, thank
Okay.
you, Madison.
Fabulous. All right. Sounds good. We'll play it by ear and.
But we're all registered for the simulation, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm
Are you guys getting the same
Yeah, I
screen
have-
as I
I
have
am.
here?
Okay. So,
Um,